Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak. May peace be unto you and who you represent, your family, your community, yourself, your society. And so here we are today. Another opportunity on Words Make People. A word is anything that brings a message to your mind. And we believe there's 5 ways words or messages get to your mind. You see words, you hear words, you smell words, you taste words, and you feel words. Some people say you can't smell words. Oh, yes, you do. You smell words. You smell that food? Yeah, you start humming and singing and getting prepared and getting ready. So, Ramadan is here. And for those of us that are practicing Al-Islam, and I mentioned Al-Islam, many of you may hear Islam, but Al-Islam, the submission and obedience to the Creator. Those that surrender or surrendered, and those that are obedient, and those that are grateful and appreciative for the blessing of the earth, wind, fire, and water that the Creator has blessed us with for us to survive. So today, I just want to share with you what I think is very important that I shared with you on several occasions already. And it's very important, extremely important. I believe it's important. There are others that believe it's extremely important. Today, March the 5th. Many of you heard on television last evening or heard before that, which you should have by now, that which is contrary to possibly your existence or possibly to our existence. And I would like to speak to the men, woman as well, but to the men, a maintainer, protector, and provider. Those of you that I believe have to start from today to prepare for the worst. What may be the worst? You may think enslavement was the worst, or being brought to these shores of the Native Americans that were here and others. You may think that may be the worst, the conditions that those were brought here from the continent they call Africa, that they were put in, circumstances, diabolical circumstances. I'm saying to you with all sincerity, prepare for the worst. And how do you do that? Get a focus in your mind from different understandings, agreements with those of you that are thinking alike to prepare for the worst. You may not be able to afford a cellular generator. We need to prepare by having water as much as you possibly can house in your apartment, in your house, in your attic, in the basement, in your closets, in your porch, in your bedroom if you have to, with honey and rice and beans. You'll be able to cook them. You can go outside, get you a spot that you're going to have as your new kitchen, because there may not be no electricity. You may not be able to afford a walkie-talkie. Cell phones may not be in existence. Preparing for the worst. I'm not talking about the extreme. I'm not trying to scare you. All I'm saying is, if you live the amount of years we lived, I lived, those of us lived, we've seen things. Water shortage, gas shortage, riots, all types of things. So, not trying to scare you, just trying to prepare you that you can recognize what we've been speaking to you about over these airways for years. The 5 Ps. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. You do know, during the pandemic, couldn't find tissue. Prepare. Regardless the tariffs that's going on, regardless of all the things that's happening, the noise. Focus on what's necessary for you, because the noise will allow for you to be outside of your spirit and your soul and your gut and your natural nature to prepare for yourself. The noise will cause for you to commit the number one crime, self-abuse. How you use yourself or how you allow yourself to be used. We have this opportunity to be able to understand that we should get with those that are thinking alike and are preparing properly alike. Wherever you are in the United States of America. Stop blaming them, stop blaming it, stop blaming her, stop blaming him. Today, March the 5th, prepare. Those of you that have been in the military, prepare. You know how to prepare. If you were sincere in preparing for your existence to continue on this earth, you are obligated to prepare for yourself, for your family first. For the seniors, prepare now. Don't wait till the last minute. When is the last minute? It could be this evening. When is the last minute? It could be tomorrow. It could be next month. It may not be. It may not happen. If you believe the concept that the Creator, God, Allah, Jesus, Quds, whoever you believe in, is going to divinely intervene and not allow for the worst to happen, I'm saying to you, prepare yourself. Because the Creator wants you to prepare, because the signs are there of what is necessary for you to do to make sure you have the essential necessary things that will allow for you not to go out and want to steal, not to go out and want to argue, fight, and loot, and all those other stuff. Prepare as much as you can today. You may not have resources, you may not have money, but whatever you do have, focus on what is necessary for you to understand how you need to prepare for a week, a month, 6 months, whatever you can possibly do. Get with those that think like you and begin to fast. You know, the Christians fast during Easter, the Jews, they fast, the Muslims, they fast for a purpose, for a reason, to learn self-restraint. And what is a self-restraint? You may not be able to eat 3 meals a day. You may not be able to even eat 2 meals a day. You have to prepare yourself and plan to be able to have the essential disciplines, self-restraint for one day a meal. Can you understand and realize how those in Gaza in the Congo, and other parts of the world, in Sudan, and how they are surviving on a daily basis, if that hasn't happened here in America up until this day, because we haven't studied our past, our story, not his story, our story of how we survived from the time we were brought here to where we are right now today. I'm just trying to make some good common sense, develop people. Because otherwise, you really don't understand what the word suffer means. I don't want anyone to suffer, but there are those that have to suffer. Those that suffer that want the fire. Those that are living in diabolical, psychological, mental conditions right now, they are suffering. And many of the innocent are going to go through a transformation if they're not going through it already. Here in America, here in the Capital District, here in your family. I'm not trying to stress you out. I'm just saying, get with those that think like you. Whatever organization it is, wherever you can obtain water and rice and honey, beans, yeah. Those essential things that don't have a need for salt. Salt is the preservative. Rice and honey and water don't need salt to preserve it to exist. You may say you want to stock up on some canned goods, but all canned goods have salt in it to preserve it, and so it don't go bad. So I'm saying to you, you can try the canned goods, but you may want to look at what Google has to say to you. Google with Siri, Google what has to say to you on what are the best things that you should preserve, that you should have for any distance to live with those things that can help you survive. So there's all types of things that's going on right now around the world. You have to pick and choose which one you want to decide to listen to. Do you want to listen to yourself about the possibility of what I'm explaining to you, what I'm sharing with you, of what may happen, what could happen, what is happening, if we're keeping up with what's going on in our surroundings, in our state that we live in our region, in this country. This is not make-believe. This is real. Real like never before. Our young people need to understand the possibilities of what's going on so they can help in this process, because they have to be key factors in helping in this process. In the Capital District yesterday, there was an abundance of correction officers sharing their thoughts at the Capitol building to the governor about the atrocious things that's been happening in corrections, in the prison system. It's real. But I don't want to get into that, because when I hear of that, I hear of when I was coming up, what happened in Attica. And that movie comes on every year. And you should try to get it to understand what happened in that situation in Attica prison back then. So, dear beloved people, we must coordinate, organize. We must prepare ourselves for the worst in everything we do. 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. I'm saying to you, don't commit the number 1 crime. Be able to understand the possibilities of the significance of things that are happening around us. For instance, you might not have heard that the preponderance of drugs that's going into the continent of Africa, so that entirely too many that don't know any better will get hooked on drugs. For me, and those of my age, younger or older, we understand what took place. When they allowed crack, heroin, cocaine into the cities to mesmerize individuals so they wouldn't have an opportunity to get their share of what the Creator wants them to have, to earn, after we learn how to get it. This is words make people. You must give an ear in order to earn how to learn. I'm sharing with you so you can hear via your ear, so you can learn, if you don't know already, how to go about preserving what's necessary for you to exist a little longer with the resources you need to survive. And if you're a God-fearing person, be assured, the Creator will allow for you to have what you need, not by osmosis, by you thinking His hand is going to come and help you. The Creator wants us to think. And then the word think is the word ink. Be careful what you say, because you won't be able to erase it. Be careful what you tell yourself, because you won't be able to erase it. And the word ink is the word in. Go in. Figure out how to go through this process of survival. Go in, go deep, go past the myth, go past what is rhetorical, go past the rituals, go past all of that to get to the seed, not the root. Get to the seed of the knowledge. Get to the seed of the significance of and importance of what you need to understand to make better choices in your life. Whatever choices you're going to make, that you're going to get from everywhere. You're the one who's going to make the final decision. And that decision that you're going to make is the decision that you have to be comfortable with. It's necessary, it's imperative that we understand in the word think is the word thin, T-H-I-N. Don't think light, think heavy. Thinking heavy is taking your time and not making too many split-second decisions. There are times when you need to make split-second decisions, fight or flight. But right now is the times for you to think heavy, not thin. Don't think light. Figure out your surroundings, where your apartment is. It's important that we recognize and understand that this is a time like never before. You may take it light and you may think you shouldn't. Don't play yourself. Don't aid in the conspiracy against yourself. Don't front. This is the time. Look at your children. You got a grandmother, you got a mother, you got a father, grandma, you taken care of. They need medication, they need all these things. Plan how, from this day on, how you need to make sure that you have what is necessary as much as you possibly can to live another day, another week, another month, another half a year without relying on corruption, without relying on protesting and demonstrating and rioting and all that kind of stuff. Get with those that think like you. This is not trying to scare you. Please, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to prepare you because things are happening. Do you know your story? We know his story. Who don't know his story better than we do? Do you know your story? Do you know how your ancestors survived? Your grandfather, your grandmother, your great-grandfather, your great-grandmother, your great-great-great-grandmother, your great-great-great-grandfather. Do you know how they survived? Do you know what they went through? Do you know what diabolical things that were planted in their minds to submit and surrender to them, not to submit and surrender to the Creator? The Creator wants you to submit to your intelligence, to your human essence, to your proper thinking, to prepare yourself for the best, not for the worst. But prepare yourself if you recognize the worst may be coming. How do you do that? It has been done in the past, thousands and thousands and thousands of years, how those survived. There are those that are doing it right now today in various parts of the world. Whether it's Sudan, whether it's Gaza, whether it's South Africa, wherever it may be. Don't scare yourself to say you're fighting against billionaires and millionaires. Scrap that. It's not all noise. But if you have some skills on just budgeting from paycheck to paycheck, you know what you have to do. You know what's imperative. You know what's essential. You know what's necessary. You don't believe this may be your last paycheck? This is words made people. Paycheck. What does that mean? Somebody checking your pay. You didn't hear about all those that were let loose, fired, told don't come back? What if you were told that? If you've been told that before, what did you do to survive up until this very day, if that happened to you in the past? This is real. No, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm talking to men, women as well as too. You men, get with the program, man. Start today. Come out of that syndrome. You're going to be fasting. There may not be no more City Mission that can help you out, because City Mission may be bombarded with umpteen amounts of people that are hungry, that are in need. So I say to you, dear beloved people, get with those. Get with your family members. Get with your neighbors. Get with those to begin to think on how you need to plan for the worst. What other information can I give you? You want me to give you a telephone and tell you where to go get information? Ask Google. Let Siri help you. Find out what's available. Don't let our seniors suffer in front of you. It may happen. Don't let our young children, babies, toddlers, elementary school, junior high school students suffer You know how much they eat, don't you? Better prepare them as much as you possibly can with this moment's notice. If they don't understand, hey, look. They don't want to go to the joint. They don't want to go to prison. I'm saying to you, men, stand up. Be more accountable than you ever been before in your life. Mothers are always going to be there. They're always going to do what they necessarily have to do. Created to do. There's enough men out here that's been doing and taking care of the business. Give it other young men. Give it other men. Let's prepare and plan for the worst. I'm saying to you, part of it is happening already. And if you don't believe me, ask Google, ask TikTok, ask Instagram, ask Facebook, ask Meta, ask X, ask MSNBC, CBS, NBC, whatever you tune into, I don't care what it is, you better tune in and give it the understanding of what's necessary. There's no shortcuts. Let's have a plan to succeed. Because if you don't have a plan to succeed, you plan to fail because you have no plan at all. Plan A, B, and C. And I'm saying to you right now, get on that phone, get with your people, those that are thinking like you, that's serious about not hearing the noise and talking about the noise, but about planning for the worst. I can share more with you. I can say a whole lot of things. I can tell you about this, that, and the other, so forth and so on. But this whole talk today was about planning. So that you and your family don't suffer. There are going to be families out there that's going to suffer because what they're hearing today is going in one ear, coming out the other. I'm saying to you, don't let that happen. Get with those that are thinking like you and get with what is necessary that you preserve those things that help you live a little longer. Water, rice, honey, beans, tissue, and whatever else you can think of that you can afford, that you can buy to hold on to. This is Brother Kadir on Words Made People. May God's peace and blessings be upon you, your family, and who you represent. Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak.